Check it out. Let me show you how I did this. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be recreating another old video on the channel. We're going to be opening this car without drilling the post, and I'm going to be using soldering irons to do this. I've gotten questions, will this work on a metal base? No. What this does is it heats up the post and it melts the plastic around it. That way you could pull it apart. It's common sense that that's not going to happen with a metal base, okay? And you should not try it if the car is plastic and the posts are plastic. I mean, kind of obvious. I've also received questions or comments saying that it's better to drill. Well, if you prefer to drill, then you drill. If you don't have the skills to use different tools, then I guess you're stuck using only one method. I like to learn different things and different a different process of doing the same thing. So this basically is a video so I could, practice. This takes a lot of practice to learn how to do this method. So if you ever try this, you're gonna damage a lot of cars, and this is why a lot of people give this method a bad rap. Now, why would you do this? Sometimes you want to make a custom, and when you're done making that custom, you want that car to look like it came like that from the factory. So it's all about, learning new things. Now, this is a Craftsman 45 watts. You can see it right there. This will work, but it just takes a lot longer. It takes more time. And I learned how to use this other thing over here. This is a very dangerous tool. You should not be working with any tools that you do not have the skills to work with. This is a 150 watt soldering iron. This is used to remove like large capacitors, but it's also used for pyrography. What is pyrography? Is the art or technique of decorating the surface of wood or leather by burning a design with a heated metallic point. So it's something that people do. Now, when it comes to customizing, one thing that you have to learn is if you're customizing something, you might as well learn how to customize your tools to work for you. So this comes with a very thick point, and you can see that I modified it so it works for what I want to do. So I'm going to plug this, wait for it to heat up. This is dangerous, do not try at home. And I'm going to show you how I open that car without drilling. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. The car is still a little bit warm, but I could grab it fine. Nothing is damaged. The windshield's perfect. The seats are perfect. So now let's talk about the procedure here. Some cars are different. I don't know if you notice all the distance that the plastic base had to travel to separate from the metal body. So I'm gonna explain why I customized that other soldering iron. See, if I would have used a tip like this when I was going like this and I was trying to pull up, this doesn't fit inside this hole, so I would have damaged this plastic base. See, you can see right here, this base, it's not damaged. You can see the hole got a little bit bigger, but it's not damaged. You can see we have some melted plastic here in the back and over here in the front. We now have to clean that up. Another thing is, when I'm heating up the car like this, I'm not pushing down because that's not going to do anything. All I want is this whole area to get hot. So when I'm about to lift, I do not go like this slowly, because you can see the car moves, right? So I have to lightly lift up, right? So the car moves. When I see the car that's not moving anymore, now I can pull up. That way I don't risk, again, damaging the plastic base. So let me clean it up and I'll be back. All right, so I use my X-Acto knife here, and all that burned plastic, try to cut it off. Right? And then, using the same knife, I try to clean up. Clean up. You're going to do the same thing to the front. That way we could test, see how it fits. You've done the front and the back. It's time to remove the axle. There are different ways on how to remove these axle. So you do it the way you prefer. I like to spread the plastic tabs because then I reuse them. When I go to put the car back together, I reuse the tabs. There you go. It all depends on how it was put together. So now that you have the base, we're gonna do a fitment test here. And now you can see that it doesn't want to go back in. So if you thought the hole was too big, you can see that it's not the case here. Now you could go about this many ways. You could reuse the soldering iron to push it back if you already customized the car. But if you have painted the car, you run the risk of damaging the paint, right? So the trick is here to enlarge the hole slightly to the point where you can fit this back together, and pay close attention to the post here. If you see any type of residue plastic, you have to remove it before you continue. remove all of that burned plastic. Like you see, this is not a 5-second job. It does take some time. Now, my preferred method is to use these step drills. They come in different sizes. You can buy them at Harbor Freight. And don't use a drill. Just by hand. You can slightly just go like this. All right. And then you go back and you try it out. And I can see that I can still go a little bit more and keep doing the same thing in the back until it gets to a point where I could just go and snap it back in place. But then if I want to take it apart, it's easily removed. So let me continue here and I'll be back. All right, so once you get to that point where you feel comfortable, you go for it. You hear that clip, and there it is. That base is clipped back in place. And this is no longer a toy. You see, it does not come out. But this is why I removed the wheels, because now I could go underneath and pry it open. And without much force, it just pops back out. See? Now I can strip the paint and customize this car and put it back together. Now when I put it back together at the end, I may or may not use a little bit of glue here on the post. That way when I snap it back in place, that glue is going to drip down on the base. You're not going to see it on the outside. And the car is never ever coming apart. But it's still not a toy. So let me put it back together and I'll be back. Here it is. Glass seats all back in place. And it looks like it was never opened up. So you'll probably be seeing this car in the future, all nice and customized. Thank you for watching. Peace out.